Hi guys, it's Appleminte. Welcome back again to my channel. So for today's video, a company reached out to me asking if I could do my take on one of the characters in their game, and I'm always more than excited to turn things into cute characters. So before we get into the actual drawing portion, I'd like to thank today's video sponsor, Mabinogi. As you guys know, I've played many MMOs and I'm a huge fan of them. Mabinogi is an online MMORPG where you can create a unique character and live your fantasy life. This month they have had a huge update regarding the pet system. Pets act as a strong, reliable companion that can be summoned to assist the player in both combat and their journey. There are so many to collect in the game, as well as new ones that are always being added. You can upgrade your pet to make it even more useful in combat. One of the newest pets that's been added is the wizard corgi, which I'd have to say is one of my favorites. The first major phase of Mabinogi's two-part Positively Elite Training, or PET, summer update kicked off on July 16th and is still going. In part 2, there will be a brand new dungeon area coming to the game. You can sign up using the link in my description below. So thank you again to Mabinogi for sponsoring today's video. So of course I'm going to be using my trusty dusty blue and red Prismacolor Cool Erase pencils. I've been using these a lot lately in videos. I really enjoy sketching with them just because it looks really cool, and also they're really easy to erase and they don't really show as much when I actually do the coloring and the inking later on. Anyway, this is my process and how I normally start. I don't always show this phase, but when planning out a character and turning them into a human, something that I like to do is to draw what I think that the outfit would look like, or just make up the character standing in a straight pose, nothing special, just to plan out the outfit design and all that. And then on the side, I like to do a pose sketch to kind of plan that as well. And then I put it all together once it comes to the actual drawing. So for this drawing, you may have guessed that I'm going to be doing the magical corgi, the magical witch corgi. I'm really excited about that. I really loved the design, so I was really excited to turn it into a human. And I also just really like the witchy aesthetic, so I think that I can take this somewhere really fun. So as you can see, the pose I'm going for is going to be her sitting on a broomstick. It's something that's a classic witch pose, but also it's more dynamic than having her just stand there. Originally I was thinking maybe I could make her in front of a cauldron with the potion bottle, because she does have, or the dog has a potion bottle on their hip, so obviously the human will. But I didn't want to do something standing because I figured that that would be less fun. So I picked being on a broomstick as my pose of choice. But I plan on adding a bit of a background to this as well, so we will get there. When it came to figuring out how I wanted to translate the outfit, or I guess the whole design of the corgi, into a person, I like to look at different aspects of the design and see what I can translate into something that would work on a human person. So as you can see, the dog has like a little tarp / cape over its back, and looking at that, I figured that I could turn that into a dress. And then obviously it has that big bow on the front, so that's a great accent as well for the dress to go right front and center. So for the type of dress I decided to go with, I wanted to do a poofy sleeved dress with a collar on top leading over to the bow at the neckline, and then do a band across the waist, which mirrors the band that is on the edge of the tarp that you can see on the corgi. And then as well on the edges of this skirt that I'm drawing, I also wanted to do that same pattern with the little tassels on the end. So just taking those little accents and then thinking about how I can change it into something that would more relate to what a human would wear. I really like, side note, that the dog has little potion bottle and book and map on its waist. I think that's a really cute touch. It makes it look like it's ready to go with all of its equipment. So I was happy to add that onto my character because I just, like I said, I think it's a really cute accent, and it also kind of breaks up the dress a little bit because this is going to be a lot of dark blue and red. So having those extra little accessories on the side is really going to help break up this piece a bit. As for her legs, I gave her some squiggly little socks, knee-high socks, and then some shoes, kind of like Mary Jean's almost. And I plan on sticking to a color palette that is very similar to what I was given, which is a lot of reds, dark blues, maybe a little bit of oranges for like the corgi portion. And I want to kind of stay away from blacks and too many other colors. So as always with the inking, I like to start with the outermost portion of the outline. And I like to use a 0.8 multi-liner for this just to give it a thicker look. Ideally, I would like a 1.0, but I don't actually have one currently. I think the one I had dried up or got lost. I don't know where it is, so. But the 0.8 still works to give that effect of it is thicker than the inside lines, which I use a 0.3 fine liner for, and I find works pretty well for what I need it to. So here's the little corgi. Again, I mean, you've had it up on the screen the whole time. And now I want to test some colors. So this is the part where I just kind of figure out what exact markers I want to use that match what I'm going for, which I actually had a really easy time for this one, color matching. Sometimes when I'm doing artwork, I have a difficult time finding colors that match the source that I'm trying to mirror, or like, just, I can't find the exact shade of something. But for this one, I actually kind of had it, so happy about that. It's always good when it works out. It sucks when you have a whole drawing planned out and then you're a little bit off with the colors. So happy about that. For her face herself, I wanted to make her really blushy. I don't know why, I just thought it would be a really cute look, as if she had like a big area of freckles and blush on her face. Because I also planned on giving her reddish orangey hair to match the color of the corgi's fur. So I think that having a little blushy face kind of works with that. So you notice I actually went with a more bright orange than the color of the corgi itself. The corgi is more of like a blondie orangey fur color, but I went more with a bright red orange color because I think that that would stand out a lot more, especially against her skin, than something that was more on the blonde side. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That's my take on that. And I think that looks cuter with the colors of the outfit that I had planned. So like I mentioned before, there's a lot of that border that has the red stripes on the corgi's outfit. And so I carried that out throughout my design as a whole, being on the sleeves, the waist, the skirt, and on the hat itself. And so, yeah, I tried to carry out a bunch of those little details wherever I could. And some areas are directly taken from the corgi, like the hat, and others are kind of my own creative liberties to make things match a little bit more with the overall look the character already had. So for coloring the dress, what I like to do in general is I like to, instead of going in with one flat color, I take a light color and kind of block in where I want a highlighted area to be. Go ahead and take my regular mid-tone or dark color, whatever you want to call it, and then I blend it together with the highlighted color on the edge just to show that light is hitting them. And I think that helps make it look a little bit more dynamic than just like flat color. So that is why I do that. Sometimes I do it and I don't really explain it, but that is why I had a lighter color there. It kind of helps make things look a little bit less flat. So at this point, it was time to start coloring all of the little accessories, which I mentioned before I was very excited about because I just think they're a really cute touch, and I don't usually draw characters that have things hanging off the side, so I was especially excited to color in that potion bottle with the blue fading into purple. And then for the socks and the gloves that I gave, since those weren't on the original character, I took a little bit of a lighter red that I wasn't using for the rest of the accents. You'll notice it's a slight different red if you look carefully. And I used that for those and decided to go with the brown on the shoes to match the color of the little belts holding the book and the potion to her, and the color of the broomstick she's sitting on. So I kept that more of as like a slight accent color. At first I was afraid the red on the socks was going to be an overkill, but I think it worked out with the design. And lastly, I colored in the clouds with kind of like a sunset tone, sticking to magical colors like the light purple, some light pink, and some gold. So there you have it. That is my interpretation of the Wizard Corgi from Mabinogi. As I said before, the link to download the game and join it is in the description below, so check that out if you're interested. And as always, I have all of my links in the description below, including the link to my online store, my Patreon pin club, and everything else. My Instagram is all there as well, my Discord server. So go check that out. And if you like this video and you like my character design, please let me know in the comments below. I would really appreciate it, and I love hearing what you guys have to say. Anyway, as always, I will see you guys next Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye bye!